Hi everyone, it's Hamit from Fairfax Kitchen and Bath. I am one of the project manager. So we are together with Sena today. Sena, can you please introduce yourself?
Of course. Hi, my name is Sena Konya, and I'm one of the lead designers here at Fairfax Kitchen and Bath. Today's discussion topic is going to be a tell-all on bathrooms.
Yep, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's get started.
Also, let's start with the first question. We always see a couple videos, like we finished the bathroom remodeling in 2 days, 1 week. So first question about it, our 1 week bathroom remodeling is really worth it?
That's an easy answer. I would say 1 week bathroom remodels are a bait and switch tactic. They're unrealistic. You will never come out with a quality product within 1 week. If it sounds too good to be true, that's probably because it is too good to be true. Rushing this process will not only result in a poor quality bathroom, but you'll most likely have to redo it or constantly get things redone because they weren't done properly the first go round. So rather than getting a really attractive offer of a short renovation or something that's maybe less expensive because they have a shorter turnaround, might end up with you having to spend more downtime. Or you get into the project, they've already sold it to you, and then they're like, sorry, it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks more than we had expected. So it's very unrealistic and very unlikely that anyone can get it done in a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
So usually, what should we expect? Timeline?
I would say it typically takes about 3 to 4 weeks to complete a bathroom on average, and that's like a 5x8 bathroom, especially if there's a glass door that's being custom cut or a countertop that needs to be fabricated. Plus permitting and stuff like that is included as well because we do like to get things done properly here. So once you account for all of that, it does add up to 3 to 4 weeks. If it's a master bathroom and we're moving around a lot of plumbing, knocking down walls, it could be 4 to 6 weeks.
I got you. So the second question, what should we expect? How much we gonna invest for the bathroom remodeling?
So with us, a standard 3-piece bathroom, which is a 5x8 size, where you'll have a single vanity, a toilet, and then a tub shower combination, one or the other. That'll typically range between $18,000 and $25,000. And then to finalize that amount, it'll come down to not only the materials, but also the scope of work. So if there are minor relocations, some fancier finishing touches, then you'll probably be closer to that 25,000 mark versus, we can scale back and get you around that 18K. But that being said, if you have a larger bathroom, like a 5-piece bathroom, which is also referred to as like a true master bathroom, where you have a tub, a separate shower, and then you have a double vanity and a toilet. In that case, it usually starts at 30,000 and can go up based off of the size and
the
exact
materials,
needs.
right?
Yep.
So the third question is, what is the most expensive part of bathroom remodeling?
I would say the most expensive part of bathroom remodels are going to come down to tile work and fixtures. In general, bathrooms are a little bit more labor intensive, so there's a lot to get done there. The more tile work you have, the cost of the tiles themselves can range and kind of climb up there, and then also the installation process and making sure all of that's done properly is extremely important. Same thing with the fixtures, and the plumbing behind those fixtures is also an important factor, making sure those are done properly.
Yeah, it's also important for the security, right?
Correct. So, you want to get a bathroom done once. You don't want to have to keep doing it, which is what we sort of touched up on the first question. So you also want to make sure that you have a good plumber, someone who knows what they're doing, knows the most recent codes, knows where to put in new valves. We also don't like to cut corners either. So, if something needs to be updated, we'll update it. It's not a matter of should we, is the time right? If it needs to be done, it needs to be done. Most of these are older homes, and having a faulty valve, cartridge, those type of things can really lead to costly repairs down the future or down the line. When there's an issue with a plumbing fixture, that initial price of like, oh, I found this Amazon fixture for $100 seems like a great deal. But the tiniest part in that can cause such a major problem that you might have to rip out your entire shower and redo it just to find what the issue is and to be able to replace it. Because a lot of these things, once they go into the bathroom, they can't be swapped out easily. It does require having to, take out tile, take out the grout in between, redo all of that, and then you end up with, an unpleasant patchwork.
So what I understand that we also take care the things which invisible, right?
Correct, things that you can't see. So all the prep work, all of that, it might seem expensive because you don't get to see it, but having that done and paying to get that done really gives you ease of mind down the line, and you feel like your home is secure and safe.
Okay, the next question is, some of the bathrooms has bathtub, some of them only shower, some of them both of them. So what is the cost of converting the tub to the shower or shower to the tub?
So the cost typically, especially if it's an alcove tub where it's sandwiched in between two walls, converting that to a shower, one, it'll involve moving the drain, most likely the shower fixtures, and then you'll also probably have to have a glass door for a shower if you convert to it. So that'll roughly add somewhere between $3,000 and $8,000 to the overall cost. So a shower is a little bit more expensive than just having a tub shower combination with an alcove tub. But if you're converting from a shower to a bathtub, then you'll see that price reduction of $3,000 to $8,000 as well.
The next question, is there a best time to tackle a bathroom remodel or all same?
Of course, it'll depend on the best time, for you and your needs at that moment. But a lot of people seem to find spring and summer attractive for bathrooms, when I think it's actually the contrary, and fall and winter are a great time to tackle bathrooms, just because most people want to get their kitchen done while it's warmer, because it's a lot more difficult to live without a kitchen. You only have one of them most of the time in a house. And if you have kids or other people living in the home, it's really hard to find alternatives for a kitchen. So spring and summer are really great for that, and that's a busy season for those. So if you want a little bit more a calm sense to your bathroom renovation, and you want to get it done, and you don't have a rush to get it done, I would say waiting till the fall/winter is great, because you have shorter lead times, contractors aren't as busy. It allows us to focus on the project a little bit more.
What's the right order to tackle of bathroom remodeling?
The right order is, the first step to tackling a bathroom renovation should be figuring out your wants and needs and budgeting for the project. So once you have a general idea of what you'd like to do, what you're into, what you're not into, then you're tasked with doing your due diligence to find the right professional to work with and what meets your needs. So that'll start the actual planning of the project. Basically, you get a general sense, I like this, I don't like that. And then you find the right professional that can carry that out for you. So you need to find someone who understands your needs, can fulfill those needs. And then there's usually two different types of remodelers. One is a hired contractor, which this will be something more like where you hire someone to carry out the labor and you most likely provide the materials yourself. So you do have to become the project manager, the person doing the permits, ordering, measuring, double checking everything. And if you don't have experience in this field, there are, maybe 3,000 details that you need to pick through when you're doing a bathroom renovation. So that might not be the right approach for you, especially if you have a job, kids, a busy lifestyle. The second alternative is finding a one-stop shop remodeler or builder who can carry out the project, where you come to them, tell them what you need, and then they'll be able to source the right materials for you, manage the project, order everything, pull the permits for you. So it'll be like a one-stop shop. You tell them what you want, and they'll carry it out. So
also manage the delivery process.
Correct, the entire thing from start to finish. That way, you just kind of see it involved. You come and go, check it out. You get to enjoy the process, because it is a very overwhelming task to have to remodel something. And a lot of people don't find enjoyment in it. They usually do it because it's a necessity. So if it is a necessity and you're not super into design and you don't have the time, it's extremely difficult for you to manage everything and do it all yourself.
If someone goes with the second option, one-stop shops, so there will be one project manager to take care of everything.
Correct. There will be a project manager. So first you'll work with your designer. That'll be the planning phase, getting everything ready. You'll be a little more involved in this phase, so that we can make sure everything meets your expectations. And then from there, we hand everything over to the project manager as a designer, and you make sure that we flawlessly execute this project. Now, the most important role of the project manager is communication, which, makes sure that everybody's on the same page, because it's like playing the game telephone, where everybody keeps telling someone else the information and things can get miscommunicated, or it just doesn't get to them. So the project manager really assures that everything is falling into place and that we're meeting deadlines. And they're also the person that delivers the bad news, the good news, communicates with the office, the delivery team, the county, everything.
Yeah, I was telling that we have to talk about county process also. There will be permits, inspection. It's take times and you have to go in person.
Yep.
Sometimes you have to go in person. You have to talk with the county.
Definitely.
There will be lots of documents.
Yeah.
So it's another case and take time.
Pulling permits and dealing with the county is not for the weak. That's why we have to have a strong-minded project manager to take care of that for us.
I know the answer, but I have to ask.
Yes.
How long it's going to take, start to finish, bathroom remodeling? Can you explain it to us?
Yeah, realistically, like we had touched on it earlier, a 5x8 standard bathroom is going to take somewhere between 3 to 4 weeks to complete, and then a larger scale bathroom is going to take somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks. So the project will commence, you know this part better than I do, but project will commence, we'll do the demolition, so that'll be phase 1, hauling everything out, having the dump truck there, and then we'll do all of the pre-planning and getting everything prepped. So that'll include putting up any new drywall, moving all the plumbing, electrical, making any of those updates, potentially changing out the subfloor if that needs to be done. So just once you tear everything out, we have to get it ready to put back together. So that's that phase, and then once we're completed with that and we do the first inspection, then we can move on to closing everything up. So that's when you'll see the drywall being taped in mud, and then you'll have the tiles start to go in. So we usually start from the bottom, work our way up. Once the tiles go in and everything's dried off, it starts to look like a bathroom again. And then we'll have the cabinets installed. There's a little bit of downtime with the countertops because we have those custom cuts, so they're perfect for the space. And it can take up to a week for us to get that back once they've done the final measurements of that. Same thing with the glass door. It can take up to 2 weeks to get the glass door if it's not something...
Because it's custom.
And specialty, yes. Everything's custom. It's fit to the space, fits like a glove. So that does take some time, but that is included in the 3 to 4 week or the 4 to 6 week lead time.
Also, after demolition, we have to check, subfloors. And the walls. If something needs to be changed, maybe it's going to affect the time.
Correct.
Maybe 1 day, 2 days.
Absolutely.
That's why we always say 3 to 4 weeks.
Yes, yep, that's a really good point because sometimes they're older homes. You never know what the previous homeowner did. Most of the time, homeowners will be like, I don't know why they did this. I don't know why they did that. We also don't know. So we don't have an x-ray machine either. Once we peel the onion back, we'll be able to see what's going on. And then you get to communicate to the customer if anything does come up.
We don't want to charge it upfront, right?
Correct. If I had to assume worst case scenario for everything, each project would be over $1 million. It's extremely difficult to predict everything, but we are very thorough. I think we're one of the most thorough companies when it comes to our initial estimate. Since our designers are so experienced, they're able to pre-plan for a lot of things that some people that are getting started in the industry aren't able to see. So the general things we are able to address, but things like you might need some extra dedicated lines. An electrician, once they review your panel and see what's connected to what, only then they'll be able to see the full performance of everything. Same thing with relocations of plumbing. Sometimes there's a joist right where we plan on putting the toilet. That can't be pre-planned, and we're not going to just cut into a joist randomly. So we'll have to have that evaluated, come up with the best solution or multiple solutions, present that to the homeowner, give them the option to choose, and then give them an expectation of cost, timeline, and then once they sign off on that, then we can move forward with that additional work. We also don't just say, oh, we're going to throw 3K in here, 4K in there, 5K in there, and you guys just have to swallow it. It is, presented to you, we discuss it, and then once it's approved, it goes into production.
I have another question about it. For example, if someone signed the contract for bathroom remodeling, how much they expect for the change orders? Like, because we couldn't see the, under the walls and the tiles.
Right.
How much they should
I
expect?
always recommend saving an additional 10 to 50% of your overall project cost for unexpected things. And that goes for both bathrooms and kitchens, I would say 10 to 15%. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it's always good to be prepared.
So the next question about walk-in showers. Do you think it's going to add a value to home or it's going to decrease the value of the home?
I would say about 80% of people prefer to shower than to take a bath. A bath is sort of a luxury, but there is this general rule of thumb that you should have at least one bathtub in your home, especially preferably in the hall bathroom, because we live in an area where, you know, there are a lot of families, people with younger kids, people with grandkids, so even pets. So it's always ideal to have that tub as an alternative so that it can make that process easier for them. So I would say while showers in general definitely add value to the home, it's still good to have at least one bathtub just in case someone needs it.
So once we say walk-in showers, is it curbless or curb? Can you explain the differences also?
Typically a walk-in shower will have a curb in our area. Because of the way the homes are built, having a subfloor underneath, it's not always possible to get rid of the curb. Sometimes it's extremely difficult to do so, actually, and it's extremely costly too. So a lot of people will opt out of that and will just do a shower curb. They'll allocate that money for something else or splurge on something else with it, because a lot of people don't see the value in spending several thousand to remove a 4-inch curb. We do try to keep it as minimal as possible, but in general, when I say walk-in shower, it does include a curb.
I got you.
Yeah.
We want to get new and fancy bedroom, so we want to add this money to our home value. So what is the most important part to add value?
I would say it's really important to pick quality materials and to install them properly. So I would say that adds the most value, because when you try to create this luxurious look, like let's say we're doing a wet room, which is very in right now, it creates a wow factor. You walk into the bathroom, you have this grand old shower space, the tub's in there, it's huge, wall to wall tiling. It really attracts the buyer and makes it feel like you're in a spa or hotel. But if you do that with poor quality materials, it could really be lacking, or over time you'll start to see it chip away, or the color will turn it yellow. Things like that will happen. So it's really important to invest in quality materials and get it done right the first time than to keep having to replace things. So if you do invest in a very luxurious space like a wet room, you know, fixtures are going to be places you want to upgrade. Tiles are also going to be a place you want to upgrade, because sometimes the overall look can fall flat if you don't add those details in.
So can we say good materials, good quality materials with good labor?
Correct.
Right?
Yes. You can't have one and then not the other. It doesn't work that way. You could buy the most beautiful tile, the most beautiful tub, but if the person installing it doesn't know how to do it properly, it'll look horrible.
Yep.
And then your eye will just focus on those details that don't look that great.
So I know that it's always changing, but nowadays, what is the popular colors for the bathrooms?
Ooh, I mean, it changes every day almost now, but I would say a modern organic look is very in right now, where we're mixing a lot of textures with neutral colors and adding interest with like brass tones. So even though you have neutral tones, it's not just a white and gray. There are in-betweens, there are transitions into those. So you have both the cool tones, both the warm tones, and then you add a little bit of brass or black or polished nickel to add some interest. We're also very into color right now. A lot of people aren't as afraid to liven up a space anymore, so I'm doing a lot of blues, greens, yellows, pinks, and it's very exciting to see that people are into a little bit more color and just having a little bit more fun with it. I always say life is too short to have a white bathroom, and you don't want the space to feel sterile. I think we were in this phase where everybody thought they wanted white and gray because they were always thinking about what does the next homeowner want. But instead of focusing on what they want and what they're investing in for themselves, they were trying to plan for someone that doesn't exist. So I think we're stepping out of that phase and falling into a phase where people are like, oh, I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to get it done the way I want it to, and I'm going to make it look pretty and fun. We're doing a lot of wallpaper too, by the way.
But I know you fall in love with the greens, right?
Yes, I do really love the greens.
Green and gold combinations?
Yes, I love brass tones with green. I love adding like a sand tone to that. It just feeds into the organic modern look.
I want to show her project to you guys, but you can check our website. You can see lots of projects. She's one of the best.
Thanks, Hamit.
So I think I know the answers, but
Of course, I hope you know the answers.
as a project
Yeah,
manager,
I
have
would
to know
hope
that.
so.
I know. What comes first in bedroom remodelings?
The first phase is planning and design. So It's the most crucial phase. It'll set the foundation for the whole project. Again, one, you want to budget, determine how much you're willing to invest in this project, how much value it's going to add to you, add to your home. Starting off with that, and then deciding on your design. Do you want contrast? Do you want something more transitional, traditional, modern? Do you want color? Do you want it to be a little bit more neutral? So figuring that out overall, considering your overall style is really important. And then from there, you get into planning the actual details out, which is a whole separate phase in its own. So that's measurements, final measurements, and then from there, we get into permits. That's like the last phase before the fun begins. So that's all like the planning, get it all done, get it all the way, and then from there, you get to actually wait for your materials to arrive, and then you get to get started.
So first of all, design process, right?
Design, planning, yep. Preparing everything, doing your homework, doing your due diligence, research, figuring everything out first, yep. It's like a science project.
For the DIYers out there, what are the cons and pros of each approach?
Great question. They both have their advantages and drawbacks. Choosing the right approach depends on your budget, time availability, skill level, and the complexity of the project. So for major remodels or tasks requiring specialized skills, hiring a professional is usually the best approach for that. But for smaller, less complex projects, you can, if you're handy enough, you could take it on. Like if you need to replace a couple recess lights, or if you need to maybe just add a little bit of decorative paneling somewhere, and you're good with a saw, stapling gun, things like that, and you've learned and had some practice on it, you might be able to take those on, have a weekend project for yourself. But to gut a bathroom space entirely, move plumbing around, move electrical around, finding the right people, making them work harmoniously is extremely difficult. Even as a professional, I'll be honest, like there are times where we run into issues. So I cannot imagine someone with zero skills, zero time, and just the knowledge of all the details that go into this. If you don't have that, it's going to be a mess.
So we can say you can make fun with the decorative panels.
Correct.
But for plumbing, you don't have to do that.
Right. Even you've tried to put in crown molding in the Sterling showroom, and it took you a long time to learn it. Cutting those, it seems so easy, and everybody's like, oh, I could just do that, I could just do that. But you really can't, especially when you have a life to live. I think cutting this crown molding took you hours. A couple weeks ago, my parents and I, they built a new deck, a patio, and we decided to not hire them to stain it. We were like, we could have fun, like we could have a little family time. By the end of the project, we were no longer going to be a family. Because it just took so long. It was so detailed, and it was driving us crazy. So you have to really know what you're getting into if you're going to do that.
So you guys able to finish it?
You can walk on it now.
Nice.
Yeah. Don't look
At
too
least we
close.
can walk.
It's a 5-foot project. You got to stand from 5 feet away and look at it.
How long it takes?
It took us from sunrise to like 9 p.m.
So
4 people.
4 people?
Yep.
Got you.
Yep.
So the next question, for bathroom remodels, what are the main cost drives?
Square footage and scope of work. The bigger the bathroom, the more expensive it's going to be. You're just going to need more material. That's kind of an obvious.
And the relocations?
Correct. The labor of it all. Because a lot of the times we're working on houses that were built in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. The lifestyle was completely different. The sizing was completely different. So either we're growing the space or we're already working with a large space that wasn't designed to today's lifestyle. So that drives the cost a lot. And then, the scope of work of maybe you want a really fancy shower and you want 3 shower fixtures. You want your rain shower, your sprays, your handheld, plus you want to convert your standard tub to a freestanding tub. We have to also move the tub filler plumbing for that as well. So it's just how big the space is and how much work is getting done in there that's going to really drive the cost. And of course, the materials. Like I said, you could pick tile that's $2 a square foot. You could pick tiles that are $250 a square foot. So it's finding the right balance of what you can't save on everything and you can't splurge on everything too. There has to be a nice mix to create a really good looking product.